Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday morning trading room. Hang on here a second. I'll get the screen share going on. Well, yesterday was a little bit of a roller coaster, wasn't it? The market rallied for half the day, fell for half the day, pretty much ended the day where it began. The overnight very, very sideways. Taking a look here on the Eagle. But you'll have to take my word for it. We're opening with a rather substantial gap below the market. But I don't know about this sideways range through the overnight, if that's just going to end up sparking the market, pushing it higher, or if the market's going to bounce off yesterday's highs and try to continue lower. You can see we're getting a bunch of mixed signals here already, so I think I'll let the feeding frenzy die down a little bit before I take a stab at it. The pre-market was fairly neutral as well. A lot of sideways, back and forth. So we had a little bit of a bullish break off the opening bell, and that's short-lived, as now we're almost back to where we began. You got to be careful on these early signals. They're always tempting because they look like there's so much momentum going on behind them. But remember, as a trader, you don't have to capture every single move, but you do have to be pretty sure you're right on the moves that you do take. All right, so the buyers took their swing at the market. Now here come the sellers. The Eagle's probably going to show this trading range best. So here's the pre-market low, about an hour before the market opened. And there was the pre-market high, or the market opening high. Getting a few signals here. The Hawk had given us a couple early signals. The Falcon giving us a trend change signal here a couple minutes into the session. The Raptor now also with the #1 cloud crossover signal. So the cloud crossover signal occurs when the clouds come into sync and there's a pullback. So those are the two components of the cloud crossover signal. And of course, after the pullback, there's an attempt to resume the new trend. And that's what we're looking at right now. So at the moment, it looks as though we may have a little bit of a bear move to start the day. A little bit of a macro pullback here in the Hawk. Very, very quick little 4-arrow consolidation. Everything is just unfolding so quickly here. Here on the Falcon, we're getting one of these late filter entry signals. Oh, well, you know what? It's no more. I was going to say it was only out of sync for a bar. That's one of those little variations on the late filter when it goes out of sync just for a bar or two. But if it goes out of sync for 4 or 5 bars, then all bets are off. Actually had a really nice little 4-arrow consolidation here again on the hawk. This signal that's forming right here, you could treat as a first micro-macro cross signal if you wanted, but it's now moved into yellow bars, so can't do anything with that. Oh, here we go on the Falcon again. I almost feel like a sports announcer, all these things happening. So we're going to get a late, oh, I don't want to do 2 contracts on that. We're going to get a late filter entry signal off of this. So the trend lines does not go out of sync. Filter out of sync comes back into sync. I'm going to try to capture some of this early momentum. So the trend line stays the same color, and the filter goes out of sync, comes back into sync. Oh dear, did I get into that too early? I think I didn't give them enough room to account for this early volatility. Let's see if they give me one more chance here before they perform the trend change. Well, there's the trend change to the upside now. Everything was unfolding so quickly, I didn't really get a chance to structure this trade maybe as well as I would have liked. Well, the trend definitely down, a little bit of a pullback. I guess the big question will be, am I going to be able to ride out this swing before the sellers show up again? So far, it's not looking so good. All right, back down toward these lows. I'm going to set my break even down here, I think. Once we get on the other side of the primary support zone, or if we get on the other side of the primary support zone, it might be a good spot to take a break even on the trade. Trading is always a balancing act between your entry signal and your stop. Obviously, the wider your stop, the greater your probability of success. This is what a lot of people don't understand. They think trading is all about, finding the right entry and then placing your stop 5 ticks away and making money. Yes and no. Fortunately, very often the DTS system does have very good momentum off of the signal. However, sometimes you run into this kind of nonsense. And believe it or not, the best stop for this trade is actually up here. It's actually the high of the morning. That's a little bit out of reach, so I'm hoping my stop above the second swing is going to hang in there. I hope. This is probably the last chance for the sellers. I could bring in my stop a little bit more aggressively here, but we should expect a little bit of a bounce down here at the 65, 66 area. Come on, press through there, you stinkers. Okay, the Falcon now producing a trend change signal. There we go. Oh, a little bit of buying. Come on. There you go. You can do it. Another late filter entry signal. Come on, one more. All right. I'll roll my stops in a little. Oh, maybe I'll give them up above this swing. Stop it. Yeah, doggone it. Well, we'll see here whether the leaving my stops back here around the 65-80 area was better or whether the early tag was better. I hate getting tagged only to watch the market continue lower without me. All right, let's put that back on the shelf for now. A little bit of an unfortunate start, but not a deal breaker. Took a little $100 hit there as they work their way back down. Yeah, see? I was too quick with my stops. Doggone it. Oh well. I thought I gave them enough, but obviously I did not. Okay, well, after that initial flurry, we've kind of settled in again. A little bit of a sideways drift. Back into the hard edge now on the Raptor. So we should anticipate some sort of reaction when the market hits the hard edge. Phil was asking how many ticks were your stop. I got tagged for $125, so that's what, 25 ticks. I was a little bit too cozy. The better stop. So initially I had my stop up here around 65.85. A better stop would have been around 65.80. And that would still hold me in. Now I could probably roll my stop above here, about 65.75. And that would have at least allowed me to get the trade to break even. But like I said, it's not a deal breaker. We do have a little bit of a bearish slant to the day. So here now, a hard edge bounce. Now, a second push entry is probably advisable. The second push simply means I allowed the signal to engage and I see where it reacts, and that becomes my entry. And you can see why I like the idea of a second push entry, because the market came right back with a reverse and pressed toward the highs, or the swing high. If the market is trending strongly, it's easier to get on board the signal right at the hash mark. However, the context is so important in trading. If you look at the chart and you get a lot of sidewaysness, then take advantage of a second push entry. Like I said, in trading, it's not so much about finding that signal that has the immediate momentum behind it, which is always fun, but maybe more importantly, you want to make sure you're right. big pullback. See, we've retraced at least this last little swing. Oh, good morning, Anthony. Anthony's looking, where are you looking? 6,500 for a downside target, I guess. 64.70. So, yeah, I could see that. 6,500 kind of falls right in the middle of yesterday's trading range, or I guess maybe toward the lower end of yesterday's trading range. We're a little bit conflicted here at the moment. I'm not opposed to selling, but I would prefer to sell somewhere closer toward, well, a signal closer toward the low here. So the number 2 signal, that's the counter trend signal on the Raptor. That actually had some decent follow through to it. And now we're trying to make a number 1 signal to the upside. You see the clouds have crossed, they're in sync. If we've had the pullback, if we get the bullish signal, we'll actually have a number 1 cloud crossover signal to the long side. Whoa. Okay, the Falcon had a really quick little trend change signal there, as did the Hawk, a little first micro-macro cross. We're going to produce a trend change signal here on the Eagle, which will be bearish, which seems to be the way the market is leaning today. And now we're going to produce a cloud crossover signal here on the Raptor as well. Right now we just have the warning dot. Can I cover that? No, didn't think so. What about there? That I can do. Okay, I'm just anticipating the signal is going to print here. No signal yet. Come on. There it is. I'm just going to pop in with the signal then, just because it develops so quickly. And I'll roll my stop back a little bit. There we go. All right, sellers, let's see what you got. The low of the morning, or of opening range right here. That's going to be a big deal. All right, got the first order, and now we'll take the trade to break even. I'm going to give them just a little bit more on the stop side. Adjust my ATR slightly. Hey, come on. they keep looking like they want to go and then they flinch. Come on, don't you dare. No, they're not going to give it to me. Yeah. Okay, well, that's all right. I got my offset my earlier loss, which is something. And here come the buyers again. All right. Here now the counter trend signal. I'm going to buy into. Oh, it's too late. I was going to point out here on the Falcon, we're getting a trend change signal. This coincided with the buy signal here on the Raptor. It kind of snuck away on me, so I may as well do the second push entry. This, by the way, very, very aggressive on my part. Well, actually, you know what we could do? We could do another OCO type order. We could do a one cancels other. We could look to buy above here. Stop it. And we could look to short below here, perhaps 65.44. Or maybe I'll give it a little bit more. Maybe we'll go. Maybe not quite that much. A break above these highs right here, though, should see a little bit of bullish follow through. Hey, would go Mark. Mark says he's still riding a short from 65.95. Well done. That's huge. You must have sold that right or shortly after the open. Nicely done. All right, here now another number 2 signal. That's the counter trend. And I could even bring that in maybe a couple of ticks. So when you see the market in this sideways drift, an OCO order is an option for you. I'm not sure this is going to result in a huge move higher, but maybe get back toward the 65-75 zone. And I'm going to have to hold my stop for a little while. Come on, giddy up. You know you want to. Let's go. Just get it over with. In fact, here, Mark, you'll be so proud of me. I'll even throw a profit order in. Make sure I select the right order. So the cloud's trying to cross here now on the Raptor. We're going to produce a #1 signal, or we have an early #1 signal. The signal prompt may not print because the clouds are not fully crossed just yet. We also have we had a very nice trend change / late filter entry signal developed way back here. Now we're getting your basic trend line touch signal. The eagle trying to get bullish. It's on the other side of the cloud, but we're producing a green bar sell. So there's still lots of bearish tendencies here. Come on. All right, I'm going to bring my break even right there. So if we get this little bullish break, all right, I'll take the break even now. And I'll even move into parabolics. Come on. Give them a little nudge with the mouse, push them up a little higher. There we go. Come on, you can do it. If you want to protect more profit, you can use something like the bar high-low strategy as well. It's an ultra aggressive strategy. And right now it would be at these lows, the low of this current bar. If this bar finishes bullish, I'll move to the bar high-low so you can see how it works. There we go. All right, so the bar high-low, I'm trailing 2 stops back with a 2-tick offset. So what that means is as soon as there's some weakness, immediate weakness, I will maximize my profitability. If you really want to maximize your profit, you could go 1 bar back, but usually 2 bars, you give the market a fair chance without leaving too much open profit at risk. But again, the more aggressive you are with your stops, the more likely you are to experience a stop out, maybe prematurely. So you can see that's what happened to me here. The market traded just a couple of ticks too low, would have gone up to hit my profit target. But you can't complain. It was a good little trade. For an OCO trade, I'll take it. Thank you very much. Not bad for a little single contract. So we're back to the highs of this swing. And you can see that was a pretty popular number. It got knocked down here, got knocked down here, got knocked down here, and here. So you can be pretty sure they're going to try to knock it down again. The overall trend, after all, is still down. It depends on how aggressive you want to be with the market as well. Here we've got the makings of a 4-arrow consolidation. Not yet. There's the third arrow. The fourth arrow here on the hawk will be your cue to sell. There it is right there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. No, sorry. Need one more signal. So this now the fourth signal. 4-arrow consolidations, they tend to be pretty reliable. We'll throw a single in here for demonstration purposes. And it's the kind of signal that I will actually take on a yellow bar. So there we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you wanted to be a little bit more cautious, you could perhaps draw a trend line and then short below the trend line. It looks like we would be filled either way. So with the 4-arrow consolidation here, you're just looking to try to capture a little bit of that early momentum on a new signal. With our scalp target, we're really only looking for 10 ticks. Or $50, depending on what your instrument of choice happens to be. And we got another little bit of sideways drift going on. Excuse me. All right, that's close enough for me to take a break even. So I'll roll that to break even now. And I would have my profit target, by the way. You can see I easily have my scalp target. But what I'm hoping is a little bit of maybe of a trend resumption. Maybe even a move back down toward 65.42, the low du jour. Come on. Oh well. See, should have taken profit when I had it. So now what? Now we get a bit of the bullish pushback. Nicely done, Mark. Mark says he bagged 35 points on that trade. That's fantastic. Catching those early moves, like I said, they can be very profitable if you're able to get in at the right time, for sure. And stop managing, no easy task. So hats off to you, Mark. All those swings, that is not easy to manage your trade through those pullbacks. I'm just trying to get a handle here on which way they're leaning. We've had a nice bear move. Now we're looking at a bull move again. So what? Are they going to try to head higher again? Maybe retest the high in the morning? Get back, where was the high in the morning? Near 6,600, I think it was. Yes. So near 6,600. Or are they going to fall off and head back toward yesterday's lows? The suspense is killing me. All right. Well, we got a 4-arrow consolidation here now on the hawk to the long side with a second push opportunity. Problem on this trade, covering that sucker. Ideally, the stop should go below the swing low. The crest in the macro line is doable as well, but that is a pretty broad range to try to cover. In fact, I may give it just another tick or two on the entry side so as not to fool myself. A little bit of a pullback might be preferable, but okay, they're going to do it from here after all. So where's the next stop? What did I say? 6,600. Okay, well, I won't be greedy. We'll throw a profit order in there if I can get it. Well, here's a red bar buy. These tend to develop near the end of a move, so buyers could be in trouble here. Okay, so the red bar buy. Well, the market's going flat again. Well, the seller's trying to crest the macro line here. You see the macro line's changing over. Okay, we got a green bar sell, so things looking up. The green bar sell, this is a signal that we can often buy if the market trades above here. So I'm looking for a move back above 65, 80, 81 as a possible cue to get in, but no, that ain't gonna happen. Look at that. Sellers showing up. All right, I should probably bring my stop up a little bit here. If the buyers, the market made a little bit of a reaction here. If the buyers lose their grip at this point, well, they're probably I don't expect this trade to work out. It's probably going to reverse on me and head a little bit lower. So we're getting the market kind of pinched again here at the 65.82 area and again at the 65.88 area. That is a possible zone to do another OCO order where you could look to buy a break above or sell a break below. All right, come on, buyers. Good question here from Nick. Nick asks, can we really expect follow through on intraday trends when we're in the 12th day of the trading range? Let's take a look. So here, Nick's very astute observation of this very, very tight sideways trading range. Fortunately for us, we can usually get by on a little bit less, so I missed my opportunity at break even there. All right, let's bring that down. But yeah, I think you're right, Nick. I think, given that the market is kind of stuck in this sideways range like that, you make a very good case for taking profit on target. You're absolutely correct. I like your way of thinking. Once it gets outside of those ranges, then of course, excuse me while I get that to break even there. Once we get outside of those ranges, then I think you're right. I think we can anticipate a little bit more follow through. All right, so I've moved into the parabolic mode. And hopefully, come on, give me that little swing. Hopefully, I can get back up near the high of the morning, which was near 6,600. All right, maybe I'll even go now to the bar high-low. Go a couple bars back. Just protect a little extra. All right, well, we'll see whether that was a little aggressive as well. But it was a profitable trade in a choppy market, so I can't be too terribly upset about that. Holding my own, I guess. And they're stalling a little bit. I'm not sure that parabolics would have held me in long enough there either. Let's take a look here at the parabolic stop that I had. No, I would have got tagged on my parabolics as well. And honestly, I did not feel like giving up that much more. But it looks like it's going to try to creep up to 6,600. Maybe. One thing about trading, as soon as you think you got it nailed, it's going to try to do the opposite on you. That's almost the ultimate truth in trading. Whatever you think it's going to do, it's probably going to do the opposite. And we had, not only did we have the signal that I took, but you can see that we had multiple signals confirming what was going on here on the Eagle. Actually was probably the prettiest of the signals. We had this really nice red bar buy signal off of the hard edge. It is a continuation signal, so if you're looking at these red bar buys or in the downtrend, the green bar sells, you do want something resembling a trend beforehand. So this first one might have been a little bit more difficult to take, but certainly the second one, it looks as though we have a trend already established. And you can see we had some really nice follow through on that. Good signal to look for if you're watching your Eagle trend trader. Definitely a signal to keep in mind. All right, now here comes the bullish rally. And they're trying to get up to 6,600. Anthony says, I'm shocked to see this happen, honestly. Yeah, I know, isn't it? No, that's trading. Like I said, I try, for me personally, my worst days are when I seem to have a bias on the day. If I can come into the market with an open mind, then I tend to do a little bit better. Because, hey, the market will do what the market will do. In spite of, best analysis, the market will do what the market will do. I heard somebody say once the sole purpose of the stock market is to try to get as much money from as many people as possible, or something to that effect. The point of the comment was that just when you think you know what the stock market's going to do, it's going to do the exact opposite. And that always kind of stuck with me as a bit of a truism. Anthony says it's better to trade after 6 p.m. till the open of the bell. I do great, and it's not really worth trading all day long. Yeah, I've known a couple people who have preferred the overnight sessions. They have tended to gravitate toward the currencies, though. The euro dollar, the British pound, crude oil, Brent crude. Although lately, even the stock indices, like the NASDAQ, if you look here in the overnight, there were some pretty big ranges going on there from the London Open until the North American Open. So if you're having trouble sleeping at night, or you find yourself in a overseas time zone, that might be something to look at. Yeah, Mark says crazy swing sizes the NQ's been making lately. And that's true too. If we take a look at a market like the Russell, here's the Russell this morning on the Raptor. And there were swings as well, a lot more congestion here. So the Russell opening, falling off, and then in a dead sideways drift until we get the number one signal here. So the Russell certainly a little bit more subdued when compared to something like the NASDAQ. But that's always been one of the reasons that I've liked the NASDAQ as well. Not usually a shortage of volatility in the NQ. Things a little bit more of a mess here at the moment, though. The Hawk introducing some yellow bars. The Falcon starting to break up too much. You don't like to see your trend line and your filter going all over the place. The Eagle, however, still plodding along. The Raptor also a little conflicted. Got some yellow bars there. Got a little bit of candy striping going on with the signals. I think I may just wait a little while longer before I try to commit to something. We're back up at the highs now. And you can see a little bit of active selling coming in. Well, we're just sloshing. The trend is still up, however, so I think I'd be a little reluctant about doing a counter trend trade, even though we're getting another sideways trading range building here. I've got a number 3 signal, but honestly, I would probably feel better about buying it above the high here. All right, so it's the number 3 signal printing here. I've really delayed my entry though, trying to stay on the right side here. Ooh, did they slip me? They did too, stinkers. Whoa! Whoa, don't blink. Wow, what a crazy upshot. Uh, just got tagged at break even again because I moved my profit target a couple of ticks further. Should have left it. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Well, this is making me wonder what's going on here. Why was there first slippage on the entry and then a crazy move higher like that? Are there no orders up here? Is nobody buying? Are the sellers going to squash the buyers? Well, we're getting another hard edge bounce. The hawk is yellow, which is very neutral. The falcon also breaking up. I'm not so sure I want to get back on board here just yet. Yeah, like Nick says, we're approaching the high of the trading range. I would tend to agree with you on that. Yeah, Nick asked a breakout to the upside, maybe. There's, that's the thing with trading ranges. We'll just go back here to the daily chart for a second. So here, essentially the trading range that the market is stuck in. And you can see we're approaching yesterday's high as well as the high from the day before, as well as the closing high. So, and the closing high back here. So this whole 6,600 area, very, very influential. They're selling there. Look at what happened yesterday. Bonk. Right? The market went up, tried to get through. No, thank you. The day before opened, also fell off. So that's, there's some really aggressive selling at that point. The big question is, are the buyers strong enough to take over that area? And right now it's impossible to say. That could be why I got slipped on my entry and why we saw that really quick uptick as well. A lot of traders, I think, are kind of on the sidelines wondering the same thing. Can the market stay above 6,600? And of course, if it does, well, then it will entice more buying. But at the moment, I don't know. Like they say at the carnival, use pays your nickels, use takes your chances. There's no denying the trend is up, or for today. But whether or not this is the best place to buy, that's debatable. All right, I'm just going to stay with it for a little while. Okay, well, there's an uptick. Yeah, Scott says, sorry, I fell asleep. Did I miss anything? Yeah, not too much. Debating whether or not this breakout is going to stick or not. So this number 3 signal actually, with some very nice follow through, did get through the high in the morning. Wow. Look at them buyers go. Well, was that my only chance to get in on this rally? May well be. So now we're pressing 66.20-ish. That's yesterday's highs. And you can see we got primary resistance at 66.19 3/4. All right. So maybe they're getting a touch overextended, maybe. Got another red bar buy cropping up, or was cropping up here in the hawk. This was not a red bar buy, but the fact that it went into yellow bars is significant. Red bar buys in an uptrend tend to develop near the end of a trend, not to be confused with the red bar buy in the eagle. And in hindsight, I really should have thought of two different names for those. But I guess originality is not my strong suit. So we will be looking for a little retest of the extreme. Can't really have a reverse without a test of the extreme. That's where we're at right now. So I could see maybe a little bit of a pullback of sorts as we get closer toward the lunch hour. Wow, look at that. That is very uncharacteristic. All right, here comes the test of the extreme. We got a first micro macro cross already lower, but we're into the hard edge on the eagle and the raptor, getting a trend change on the falcon as well. What I really need to see before I can get too aggressive on the sell side is I need to see a test of the extreme. I need to see the market try to rally, excuse me, try to rally up here again, make a decent push at the high, maybe even get up to around 66.10-ish. And then the subsequent failure, that would be very saleable. Oh, see, they overheard me. It might take a little bit more time than we have here this morning. But that would be what I would be looking for, kind of evidence that the top is in and that the market's going to try to move lower. Is that the test to the extreme? Is that all we're going to get? That might be all that the buyers can offer. An early, very, very early cloud crossover forming here now. We've got a first micro macro cross here on the hawk, which you could look to, oh, don't run away on me, which you could look to short. Stop it. Well, unfortunately, they moved just a little bit too fast for me. I wanted that first micro macro cross signal. And I think they're going to fall off here now, get back down maybe somewhere here. It looks like around 65.85. All right, gang. Looks like that's going to be it for this morning. If you're going to trade this afternoon, like I said, a little bit of a pullback is looking like might be heading our way, at least for the short term. But overall, the morning trend anyways is up. So I would try to stay with the buyers as much as possible. I will see you again tomorrow morning. We'll talk to you then. Bye for now.